Hello everyone, welcome to Sarah's Korean Corner, where I dive into all things related to Korean culture, from K-pop to K-dramas, language, food, and skincare. Today, I am bringing you a different kind of video. In my intro, I talk about skincare, but up to this point, there haven't been any videos about skincare, and that's gonna change. Usually people ask me what my skincare routine is or what products I'm using when they find out how old I am. So I'm 40. I turned 40 in December, and I've noticed that over the past decade, my skin has gotten decidedly more dry. I've been getting more wrinkles. They don't stick around. So I know people are probably like, what is she talking, what wrinkles? But trust me, I get them, and I use this routine to get rid of them. In terms of other concerns that I have skincare related, as a dark-skinned Black woman, I get a lot of dark spots. So any blemish that I get, any ingrown hair that I get anywhere, even if it's on my leg, which but it leaves a dark mark, and that mark takes months, sometimes years in order to actually fade, which is super frustrating. So I started Korean skincare about 6 months ago in an attempt to add more moisture to my skin routine. Since then, I've tweaked my routine a little bit. I watch a ton of YouTubers. I'll link some of them in the description below. But now my main concerns are mostly dry skin, wrinkles, and dark spots. So the routine that I'm going to show you today is the one that I've been using for the past, I would say, 3 weeks. It's almost exactly identical to the routine that I'd been using before that, but I swapped out one of my serums in the hopes that it will help fade my spots a little bit faster and help even out my skin tone a little bit faster. So far, I don't really see a difference, not gonna lie. But a lot of these things take 3 to 6 months to see differences. So I'm gonna keep doing it, and hopefully my skin will even itself out, and I will have that kind of pure airbrushed one color looking face that requires me to wear no concealer or no anything. And I mean, if I'm keeping it 100, I don't actually wear makeup. I just leave the house like this. This is what I basically look like every day. I'm lazy. I mean, what are you gonna do? But anyway, let's get into the routine.
Today's products in reverse order: the Innisfree Intense UV Protection Emulsion, Muji's Moisturizing Milk, from CosRX the Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence, and the AHA7 Whitehead Power Liquid, Laneige's Skin Toner for combination to oily skin, First Aid Beauty's Face Cleanser, and Hylamide's High Efficiency Face Cleaner, which is an oil cleanser.
Okay, so the first thing that I do is I oil cleanse. I'm using this Hylamide High Efficiency Face Cleaner. It is from the Abnormal Beauty Company, which I think is related to Deciem. At least I got it at the Deciem store in Bryant Park. So I basically just put a couple of drops of this in my hand. I would use this mostly at night, honestly. At the end of the day, New York has a lot of grime. Living in New York also had me starting this routine, because I would get home and my face would just feel kind of gross. And then I started hearing people talk about how much stuff gets deposited on your face living here. And I was like, let me go get an oil cleanser and get some of this off my face. So all you do is put it on your hand and you just rub it onto your face. So you can use this as an opportunity to give yourself a nice face massage. Kind of what I do. There's nothing really on my face right now because I didn't leave the house yesterday. But just so that you can see what the routine is, I'm using it. If I had any makeup on, I would be doing this for a lot longer, but I think that's sufficient. So now, what you want to do is you want to emulsify it, which means adding water to it. And you'll notice that it starts to get creamy. So that's when you know that it's actually emulsifying. you just continue massaging. And that's that. Then you rinse that off. And now you're ready for the cleanse. So, to cleanse, I use the First Aid Beauty Pure Skin Face Cleanser. Just take a little bit of that, not much. And since your face is already wet and dripping down your neck and all over your clothes, just massage that in. Don't forget your neck. If you have any areas that are particularly troublesome, like your hairline, I tend to focus mostly on my hairline and my neck. Some people do the 60-second method, some people do the 10-second method. I don't like counting things, so I just go until I feel like I'm done, and then I rinse that off. So that's the cleansing phase. Be right back. And I'm back, covered in water, dripping down my arms. Okay, so this is up to you, but I like to dry my face with a paper towel just because I know that it's clean. There have been a lot of people talking about towels having bacteria, even if you wash them in hot water, blah, blah, blah. If I'm having a moment and my skin is freaking out or has had any kind of blemishes of late, I tend to use a paper towel just to make sure that I'm not depositing anything on my skin before I continue with the rest of my steps. So you can just pat it. I try not to rub just because you don't want to encourage additional wrinkles that you're trying to get rid of. So, and then I dry my forearms because somehow when I wash my face, I end up with water literally everywhere. It's like all over my sink, as you can see, very suave. I don't know how people do these and manage to not somehow take an entire bath while they're washing their face, but here we are. So, oil cleanse is out of the way, regular cleanse is out of the way. It's time to tone. It's time to tone. This is my favorite step because my toner smells so good. I know that's not a reason to use a toner. It works too, but what am I using? I'm using the Laneige skin toner for combination to oily skin. This toner is the only toner since I was using the Clinique like #2 in college. It's the only toner I've repurchased 3 times. So I have to have it, like when I get to here, I have to run to Sephora and buy another one so that in the 3 weeks it's gonna take to use up this much toner, I know I have a backup. Like that's how serious it is. So let's get it on my face. So I don't like using cotton rounds. I do use them, but I try not to, and I've seen that this is just as effective. So I just splash a little bit in my hand. Kind of hard to see. Really can't show you. We'll drop it all down the sink. But coat my fingers, and then I just pat it in. Oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. This is literally my favorite step. Like, I feel like even if this didn't even do anything, if it just smelled good, I'd still use it anyway. It's also not super expensive. I mean, I guess that's relative, but it's like $20. And I feel like it lasts like months. Like I think I buy one maybe every like 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer than that. I should start keeping track of like when I use up stuff. But anyway, so that's now patted in. So you can see already maybe that like my skin has gone from looking a little tired, a little blah, to like now looking very moisturized and like a little bit glowy, which means it's time for my serums. So serum number 1, this is the new kid on the block. I am using the CosRX AHA 7. It's supposed to help lighten dark spots. So that is the reason why I have it. My understanding is that AHAs are better for like dark spots and like light blemishes, and BHAs are for more like intense like blackheads and things like that. I don't know. I was using I think it was the double pore cleanser from CosRX before. I think I might like that better, to be honest. I'm not even sure it did anything, but it left a better finish and it felt like it was doing more. we'll see. This one's still, I mean, as you can see, I haven't used it for very long, maybe like a month, but I don't know, it's all right. So I take 2 pumps of that, very liquidy, just like the toner, so can't show you. And then I pat that in as well. Just a word of caution, sometimes it burns. So I think maybe I'm not using it often enough for my skin to get used to it. So it gets like very tingly, like today it's tingly, and I don't know why, because I think I used it 2 days ago. I think, yeah, my plan is often to try to use it every 2 days if I feel like I'm overdoing it, but maybe I need to use it every day so that it doesn't have that stinging effect. I don't know. But anyway, that's that one. It's whatever. I might not rebuy it. The thing that I will never go without until my last breath is this CosRX Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence. Now, when I tell you that I can have a wrinkle in the morning, like deep lines, like wake up looking like I've aged like 25 years, and then put this on, and by the time I get home from work, it's gone. It's gone. So, we're gonna put that 2 pumps. So your number of pumps might vary, depends on the size of your face, depends on how much moisture you want to add, etc., but I use 2 for each. So 2 pumps. And this one is a little bit different application. So I start by kind of putting it all over, and then I do this like weird sweeping motion to try to like get rid of the, like lift the skin. It feels really silly to be filming this, actually. I'm realizing like what this probably looks like. Anyway, that's that. So just try to give you a little bit of a close-up. If you kind of look here, you'll see it looks more plump. So that's the Snail Mucin. A lot of people say that there's like no reason to use it. It doesn't really do anything. I disagree. For me, it's everything. So if I only had to use like 2 things, I would splash my face with water and put the toner and the Snail Mucin and like call it a day. But that is actually not sufficient. not in the winter time anyway. We're still in New York, it's getting warmer, but it's still technically winter for like another week or something. So I'm also going to add a layer of the Muji Moisturizing Milk. So this is their anti-aging milk. I don't read Japanese anymore. My Japanese days were like 20 something years ago. I do not remember what even these characters mean. Can't read them, can't do anything. But luckily it says moisturizing milk, so I'm gonna assume that that's what the Japanese says. So I usually add a very tiny amount of this, and I apply it in the exact same way that I apply the Snail Mucin, so apologies, but here we go. This is so ridiculous. Okay, so again, close up. So as you can see, each step has added more moisture, more plumpness. You can't really see the spots fading, but also as of right now, I don't have a ton on my face. I mostly have them on my neck, which is super annoying. But anyway, that I'm working on that. But yeah, so my face feels very moisturized. You can kind of, if you listen, maybe you can hear it. Sorry. Final step. The Innisfree Intense UV Protection Emulsion. Now, I have been allergic to sunscreen my entire life. Even as a kid, I was allergic to sunscreen. I used to be an archaeologist, so I would spend summers in very hot, very sunny climates, like in Greece and Italy. The amount of sun damage that probably occurred because I could not use a sunscreen, I don't even want to think about it. But what I've discovered is that Korean sun care does not affect me in any way. I don't have any kind of allergic reaction. My skin doesn't get bumpy, it doesn't get weepy, it doesn't get itchy, it doesn't do anything. And This sunscreen, now y'all can see that I am not a light-skinned woman. I am a very dark-skinned person. Love that melanin, probably also part of the reason why I don't look my age, but it makes it really hard to use sunscreen because that white cast that people complain about when they are like basically like olive skin, imagine that on like y'all, I look like I'm wearing a mask, like I'm wearing a silver suit. It's wild. So like physical sunscreens are almost always a no for me because the level of zinc that they have in them just does not work on my skin tone. This is a chemical sunscreen, which depending on who you talk to is not great, but I need to wear something. So I use this. I tried it in the Innisfree store in K-Town. And when you see this get applied, I mean, it speaks for itself. So I apply this much. I don't know a lot about sunscreen since I'm new to using it, since I just was able to start using it. But it's something about like a quarter of a teaspoon or something for your whole face and neck. I don't know. So this looks like enough and I'm gonna put it on. Okay, so if you look at this right now, it looks like it might be a problem, but keep watching. And we're done. So as you can see, I still look brown. I'm not gray. So very exciting and also protective. I will say that sometimes when I put the sunscreen on, it interacts with some of the other things that I use and my face feels a little itchy for like a minute. 30 seconds, a minute, something, which I think is kind of weird. And I'm wondering if it's because I'm layering it over that AHA that I started using because I don't feel like this used to happen, but maybe it did. So anyway, this is my morning routine. This is what I do before I go to work. I take this off, of course, and I do my hair, but that's not what this video is about. So hopefully you got something interesting out of this video. I encourage you to try Korean skincare if you haven't. For your average morning routine, you don't need to do the full 10 steps. In fact, I would encourage you probably not to if you're pressed for time in the morning, because if I needed to add an exfoliator and also a face mask and also, I guess I didn't use an ampoule or whatever that other thing is. I've forgotten what it was. I don't know. All I do is this in the morning, and then in the evening I basically do this minus the sunscreen, and sometimes if my skin is being angry, I'll throw on a face mask, but that's pretty much it. It doesn't take very long. This video is going to be much longer than my routine, which takes me 5 minutes, maybe? With a face mask, 25 minutes. Like super easy to do time-wise, super easy to do in terms of like actual application, in terms of pricing. All of the Korean products that I'm using I think are pretty reasonable. I got the CosRX on Amazon, the Innisfree I got in the Innisfree store. I wanna say it was less than $10, so that's amazing. The Laneige I think might be the most expensive, ooh, JK. It's actually the Moisturizing Milk from Muji, which I think is like $30. But that bottle, I want to say I bought in October, November, something like that. And it's March and it's still, I mean, I still have like this much left. So that's probably like a good 4 to 6 months of usage out of that. But again, I don't use a ton of it. I just use a little bit on top of the serums to give myself a little bit of extra moisture. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below if you have a holy grail Korean skincare product. Also, if you have a cleanser that you like. I don't hate the First Aid Beauty Cleanser. It's gentle and it doesn't do anything bad to my skin, but I don't love it either. So if there's something that you have out there for dry, old, wrinkly skin that you like, please let me know. I would love to try something new. And I will talk to you next time.